Hello there, this is Cookies. I've got turn 18. I think for this Saturday I'm going to try and record through turn 20. Um, we'll see if I can get there. But yeah, we've got two messages from Agartha. The battle underground was embarrassing. Um, got sloppy and was home late and didn't check to properly set up the attack. Yeah, I think we noticed, but I mean, that stuff happens. That'll, uh, that means it'll be several turns before I can take it. Yeah, the retreat didn't look great. Jotunheim has also cut me off in the southeastern cave, so except for Thrones, I think that's it for Indie expansion. Oceania and I are coordinating an attack on Yes. I wanted to move this turn, but Oceania wasn't planning to attack into the turns that are in the 20s. It was to finish some forts next turn before facing Yes Raiders. Yes is also forting all along the coastline, and I'm happy about this. It's money not spent on mages and troops, and forts for me are basically loot. My main army will one turn breach any palisade, two turn any fortress, and a fort I can't take can't be casually raided, and a fort I take can't be casually raided back by his sacred squads if he sends them against me. Oceania is worried about his chances in the sea, and I think he's right. But I think he's wrong. His chances would increase with time. I think his chances should get better with time. He should have an advantage underwater. I'm certainly not waiting until turn 22, and Oceania's best chance is while Yes is busy with two other enemies. Still, ideal situation for me is that Yes goes against Oceania first, and I grab a few forts and finish up my Conjuration 4 research. So when I face a big battle with him, I have Olms on my side. All right. And here we see the looter mindset kind of backfiring in diplomacy. So he's already fighting someone, and he's about to be fighting even more. Okay. And we got one more message. Making two smashers for Jotunheim for a hefty profit. At first glance, that may mean they might be used against me, but I have more than enough other sacreds that I don't think two thugs with smashers can turn a major battle. I'd rather have an indebted neighbor than stronger, potentially more hostile one. Yeah, I mean, for a hefty profit, sure, but I think Jotunheim being on the back foot, unable to kill a bronze colossus, is probably pretty good, because is definitely not going to be a threat. But it also depends how. I don't think they're direct neighbors, so maybe that'll be okay. Or maybe they are. I'll have to check. I have a suspicion Shinyama may be positioning to attack Jotunheim based on some armies I've seen. And then lost track of the last few turns. At least I don't see signs Shinyama is planning to attack me. The rest easier knowing Shinyama is engaged elsewhere and unlikely to ally with Yes. I'd also rather not share two borders with a 2 or 3 cap Shinyama, which might happen if they win decisively against Jotunheim and then finish off Nabab before Jotunheim does. Alright. So, starting off, more Ichthids led to the slaughter. Yes, has spent a lot of money on these Ichthids. Or no, it was Machaka spent money on Ichthids before. I don't know, players are spending a lot of money on Ichthids. Alright. Then we got another raid in Swandi. Whether it's PD Ichthids or recruited Ichthids. Alright. Yeah, this was PD. Alright, Hidden Realm. Kill some Bakemono. Raids Machaka. Alright, in Jome, maybe we get a fight? Got Morvarks. No, no fight. Deep Mount. Ooh, going in against the cavemen. This might be our best battle this turn, so let's go ahead and watch it. 80 cavemen is indeed a lot of cavemen. The Legionnaires and the Velites, 10 combat speed, 8 combat speed, and Emerald Guard are 6. So starting off in a line. I guess these guys don't have javelins, so they eventually do kind of match up. They get a nice surround down here. Rolling up the flank. Serpent Cataphracts hold the line. It does lose one, though. Alright. So... Nope, that's the wrong battle. So deep mount. Yeah, 2 Emerald Guard and a Serpent Cataphract. So... Ooh, these guys are 20 gold. Alright. So, I don't know. Let's call it 100 gold worth of stuff. Not too bad to take out that many cavemen. And then Caves of Madness. Another caveman squad killed, but this one looks like it went a lot better. Jotunheim going after Tiradir. Okay. Then in the Farron Mountains. Let's see. We've got a whole bunch of militia. Alright. So loses 2 Veti. Then in Usrad. So we got some camels. This is a lot of barbarians. One squad routes, but the other squad is sticking around. It also routed. Am I getting pretty lucky here, in my opinion? This squad also routes. There we go. Nabal wins just barely. Alright, but does clear out a bunch of barbarian PD. Alright, Pyrene expanding. And a Hydra going ahead and clearing out a chief and some Veti Archer PD. Or no, just Veti Archers and a chief. Okay. Death Marsh was here. Alright. So let's go ahead and take a look at Jotunheim and Nabal. So Nabal's got 3 here. They still haven't cleaned out the back lines yet. I think I would have prioritized that over trying to run north. Where is the Colossus? Oh, it must be Vale Army, so maybe it's back in the cap or something. Maybe getting some new gear. Alright. And then we've got Lore Masters here in Oceania. Mercury Pond, Song of Birds. Yeah, I think this group really wants to take Valrest. We'll see, though. Ooh, Machaka went for the fight, and Yis backed off. I think that was the right call for Yis. I do wonder, his fort's been under construction for a bit, so it might go up this turn. So I do wonder if we see an all-in defense from Yis, or maybe he just kind of lets the fort complete over him. I forget if it'll go up first. I think he's got to like all-in defend this, right? That's a lot of spiders. So we'll see. We do have the Yes forts going up along the coastline. The 3rd one, actually. So, he's really hoping this will be his base of operations, and Agartha is completely preoccupied with clearing Yes out of this region. Oceania's fort is indeed being upgraded. I can see him wanting to wait a little. All right. Then over here, let's see. Did he claim the Throne of Death? He did not. He's not interested just yet. This guy's probably out site searching. Got a rainbow tower here. The ferry here? I guess looking underground really quick. Yeah, just kind of poking around. We'll take a look at the graphs on if I can make it turn 20. Yeah, I mean, this turn's looking pretty calm, honestly. So yeah, maybe we'll go ahead and jump to the next turn. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so I've got turn 19 here. Oh, we got a stale turn thing. Hold on, was I missing turn 18 or something? I do wonder. All right, I got a message from Pythium. While I'm sitting around waiting for the turn, might as well summarize the game so far. Gotten lucky. No risky expansion, found lizards, multiple gold events. And then, yes, saved them from Machaka. Doesn't really matter how Yes feels about it, in my opinion, and because he's busy. Expansion has gone well. A little late underground. Jotun hasn't been able to crush Naba. Although he's not happy that they're fighting. Current options are attack Machaka. I think that's a good option. Go ahead and kill that Hellbless and take a cap. And that would probably bring Yes around, maybe. We'll see. It might make things harder on Agartha and Oceania. Also thinking about ending Nap and attacking Pyrene, who is weak. Or end Nap and attack Shinu, who looks strong. Maybe ally with Pyrene doing that. Also given the option of getting in on a team up on Yes, but I only stand to gain 1 fort on my border, so probably not worth the Nap break, or Nap ending. Offered Machaka a nap twice, when Yes first attacked them and last turn in exchange for the province Yes took by my waste. Both times Machaka failed to reply. So although it feels a bit scummy, I might wait until Machaka has pushed Yes back to the water. And if they lose significant armies trying to attack with my larger infrastructure, I don't feel. And if they lose significant armies trying to attack, I'm not sure what that has to do with his infrastructure. I think there was two thoughts that got jumbled together, maybe. I don't feel too bad about it, though, since I did offer the opportunity to nap. Okay, so he's just going to let Machaka try to push him back, and then he's going to backstab him, which is fine. All right. One downside of fighting Machaka is the magic weapons counters my body ethereal, but hopefully I can nuke them with communions. All right. Let's see, so that's Pythium versus, and oh, then we have a Jotunheim message. It's time to see if those 50 tries of testing the Throne Province attack works out. I need that province because I've already lost around 1,000 gold because my province's income was cut by Naba's raiding, and I don't want to lose more of that sweet gold. Don't call me greedy, it's just that I don't have anything better to do while I'm waiting on Rune Smashers. I think it just means regular Smashers. Rune Smashers are not what he needs, I think. Should arrive this turn, by the way, courtesy of Agartha. Damn that Hydra. I knew something like that would happen to me. Yeah, the indie attack. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at things. Do we get a big fight here? Oh, I don't think this is the right province for the big fight. That said, mermen suck. They do have these little coral spears with a weak poison. But yes, here has a little bit of poison res. Alright, so easy enough. Jotunheim attacking Naba in Naba, or pinging it. There's a fair amount of PD here. In Grey Mercs, we've got Pythium attacking Independence. Pinging Independence. Wow, look at this mage core. 5 spectral mages. If you had access to like some sort of charm mechanic, I guess it would be charm. Would almost make me want to save up this throne. Goodness, stealing all these spectral mages would be awesome. But I think as it is, you just gotta go in and kill them. But it's gonna be a fair bit of skelly spam and maybe some death evocations. Not horribly scary though, and it's a lot of long dead you can probably get through with good banishment spam. Alright. And then we've got Cliff Coast. So Chaka attacking yes. Pinging yes. And then in Durland, we've got Jotunheim attacking Naba. Okay. So loses 2 of the Thrum Sardings. Oh, wait. Did I miss something here? Oh, the Bronze Colossus. Alright, so he got boots now. I'd still love to see him get a weapon. Alright, no Smasher Thugs just yet. Alright, let's see how this does. Yeah, moving around a big stack like this is definitely risky. Fortunately for him, for Jotunheim that is, his troops rout rather quickly. So he only loses 2 Sacreds and 7 Hurlers. Alright, and then in Valrest, pinging a throne, dipping into the caves. Alright, a little raid on Black Forest. Not much here, just a few Wolf Riders. And this is reasonably a high commitment. We got 15 Sacreds, we've got a Malika. We can see if there's any gear on these mages. Okay. And then for those curious, the randoms on the Malika. Alright. And let's see, that was Black Forest. Takes out the Sinos, loses 2 Emerald Knights, but generally the Knights go burr. Alright, so in Kunal, Jotunheim's, this is the, I guess, the greedy throne he's going for. So we'll go ahead and see him go after this. Looks like they got a couple of the Sacreds. generally speaking, that went pretty well for Jotunheim. Yeah, loses 2 sacreds, but otherwise it's pretty clean. Gets the throne. Then in Sacred Lake, Agartha kills some Tritons. And then we have Might Marsh, a Spider Raid killing PD. Alright. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So I wonder if Pythium here, because of Pyrene getting into this cave, I wonder if he just decides he wants to attack and just keep going, or if he's going to be willing to back out of the cave. Pyrene's also down here in these caverns, trying to get a cave here. So doing everything he can to try and up his province count at the moment. We got yes here. Otherwise, the rest of the caves are pretty peaceful. All right. So I think moving a large stack like this right next to or near the boss cap definitely has some risk attached to it. And this is turn 19. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely got some risk attached to it. Because he doesn't have the Smasher thugs yet, so I'm assuming everything ran to Farron Mountains and Tiradir. I know he was hoping to connect for income, but I think he could have done that with a smaller raid. And ideally, I guess this was also a pretty small group, these Wolf Riders. He does get the Iron Throne, which is pretty good because it gives them Earth Mages, consistent Earth 2. I don't think, yeah, they definitely, I guess like one of the only paths they don't get, honestly. So Earth Mages is huge. And it's even more important for Jotunheim here, because if he were to tech up to Shatter, then the Earth Mages could simply cast that. He doesn't need to buy items for that. So I think this is a really nice throne for Jotunheim to get. Moving down here to this, where the spiders go up instead of trying to stop the fort construction. And Yes did not patrol, it looks like. It looks like I think he just researched. Alright. And yeah, he does have Kunerol under siege right now. Alright, we see the Agarthan army moving up towards Isepni. I think there's some argument to be made that you could potentially let him just upgrade this fort, but I also don't think you want Yes getting to Evocation 5, because at Evo 5, these was it Kurnow Druids? They've got the perfect paths to do Gifts from Heaven, and Agartha really does not like Gifts from Heaven. So we'll see how that goes, but we do have little raiding groups on the flanks as well, so Agartha's ready to make his push now. And then Oceania is still thinking about trying to take a throne here. All right, coming over here. Pyrene is pretty small, indeed, but he is picking up some cave provinces. So he's got that going for him. Bouncing off the Marrows, I think, was not great. And then, let's see, we got Shinyama building up on the border a little bit. Looks like he's going to go ahead and fort his Throne of Death first. And he's even come down into Gulfalas, which is in the border region between Pyrene and Jotunheim. So, I mean, having this farm is pretty aggressive against Pyrene, but Pyrene might just be too weak to do anything about it. And then, yeah, Pythium with a lot of choice. They can choose to keep going after thrones. They can go after a weaker neighbor. They could team up with the weaker neighbor against a stronger neighbor. which I kind of like, I think, potentially. This is definitely feels like the safer war, attacking Pyrene. But attacking Shinyama, assuming Pyrene aggressively wants to try and get some territory, like you should be able to outscale Pyrene, and then you knock out the stronger neighbor. And maybe that works out. Looks like this group's going to go for the other throne as well. And then, yeah, I think that's most of it for this turn. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull up turn 20. All right, I've got turn 20, and I want to end this episode. It's going to be a longer episode, but I wanted to go ahead and cover turn 20. We can take a look at graphs at the end and kind of do like a check-in to see how everyone's doing. All right. So war, what is it good for? Pretty good song. Hopefully grabbing a bit of yes at little cost to myself. Strategically, I think I'm in a good spot. Shinyama has a large army on my border, but none of the small armies I'd expect if he was going to attack me instead of the throne. My border with Yes is so close I could turn around and defend my capital with one turn of recruitment lost if he comes for me. But I'm going to take Yes's entire southern shoreline while Yes is distracted, or outright losing to Oceania and Machaca. After that, I will have a lot of flexibility to decide what to do next. Conjuration 4 finishes up this turn, which means Olms come onto the board. I got 20 water gems from Jotunheim as part of the Smasher trade, and can afford 2 full casts of the Olm Conclave. I'm not super familiar with Olm's, or with Agartha's national spells. Maybe I can take a look. That should turn any battle with just a small number of elite units from a hard-fought one to a clear victory, even with their high MR, or give me everything I need to make a low-cost capture of the Throne of Gaia. Alright, so I looked up the spell, and it looks like for 20 water gems, it gives him an Olm Sage and 15 Great Olms. So, very mage turn efficient. It's a pretty great spell, actually. Alright. Then from Jotunheim. So last time his god went to the Chocold province Tiradir. Let's see if he comes to his death this turn. Also, the Iron Throne. Yeah, very excited about that. Also, the first fort on the throne started on turn 19. Hell yeah. Pretty late for a first fort. I think he was hoping to have Nabaz cap by now. Alright. So we've got Agartha going after Iron Peaks. And we do have a princess out here to try and defend. So now what's nice is these Winter Wolves do have 2 magic attacks. They've got a magic bite and they've got a magic frost breath, which is AoE 1 and does 9 cold armor piercing. Now, for these princesses, oh, she hasn't blessed herself. She's done a lot of other buffs. Blurred Body, Personal Luck, Quicken Self. I forget if they have Cold Res, but she might just die right off the bat. Yeah. The Winter Wolves there doing pretty good work. I think what I'd like to see, though, is I'd like to see these guys out in front to intercept stuff like PD and whatnot. So the Winter Wolves can be on, like, hold and attack cavalry. And so they go specifically for the Morvarks. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, then in Swandi, we've got a couple more Morvarks killing some PD. Then in Kuna Aral. All right. Got a Shambler Chief. He is not gonna beat these Marrow, though. Or not Marrow, Mermen. All right. Then in Tiradir. Okay, so Namad does indeed attack. No, he pings. Oh no, what a good choice. All right. So if he pinged, then he should notice both of these Thrumsgoats who have the Ring of Tamed Lightning, so they're up at 10 chakras, yeah, and it'll be 20 after they get blessed. And they've got big smashers that do 42 damage on 17 attack. Alright. So Naba getting very lucky to seeing in terms of seeing that. And he should know that most likely Jotunheim traded for that, because Jotunheim doesn't get natural earth access. Alright. Next up, Jotunheim attacking Independence in Rotmarsh. Or pinging them. Finds a couple of Draco Lions. So his scout definitely died there. And Bloodhinged Druids, so they're going to summon a lot of imps. Definitely not a trivial throne. In Cliff Coast, we've got Machaka attacking Yes, pinging Yes. Finds a number of Kurnow warriors in the Fort PD. Let's see, so that was here. Then in Phrygia, all right, Shinyama's taking on a throne. So we got a line of Shamblers. Kind of want to get rid of these guys. They're pretty expensive on upkeep, over 1 gold a turn. And then we've got the Kappas, similarly priced, but at least they've got the Kopo, which is AP damage. So they're kind of cool that way. Not many units get AP attacks built into them. And very few, I'm not sure how many outside of Kappa there are that get armor-piercing bludgeoning attacks, which is pretty cool. Alright, and then they also cause limps, so they cause afflictions on top of that. And then we've got mercenary spearmen, dieback mono archers in the back, a small squad of the swordsman variety, a couple of shooting doji. This one has a champion's headband from the arena, so he's got luck, quickness, awe. So this guy can definitely be thugged out. If he can get high enough nature to do cure disease, I think it would be worth trying it to save this guy. He's also a hero, so he's got increased attack skill. I mean, this guy's a huge thug. And then we've got the other shooting doji here. Big cavalry charge from the Independents. Backed up with a group of heavy infantry. Bloodhinged Druids are filling in imps, so they've routed the Shamblers. These dieback mono are trying to fight their way towards, but they're getting overwhelmed a bit. But now the main Indy line has broken. A pretty bloody battle, though. Oh, I guess these guys were Conjurers rather than Bloodhinged Druids. Alright. They still did the same thing. So, where was that? That was Shinyu. So yeah, loses 20 of the Kappas, and they're pretty expensive. So that's 400 gold worth of Kappas. Another, was that 220 gold worth of Shamblers? You probably paid a couple hundred gold for the Spearmen. This is 2 diebacks, that's 50 more gold. So the Independent is definitely taking a toll on his scales forces. And then in Oryxstad, we've got Akartha attacking Yes. This is his other raiding group. No defense, though. And then in Might Marsh, we got some Morvarks killing PD. And then in Karsus, we've got Machaka attacking Yes. 2 groups of spiders. Alright, and then we've got 3 attacks here. Naba and Jotunheim. Is this guy on advance and cast? Anyways, he routes. Fortunately, well, I mean, his primary usage was body ethereal. So, as opposed to blessing. But still, it's a successful raid. And then Winter Peaks, we've got another Nabah raid. More Janguard. This time against a bunch of barbs, though. Maybe too many barbs. Oh, one of the squads routes. That was close. Alright, I'm not going to watch that. Then in Inuptia, got a few camel riders going after what looks like one PD. There we go. Alright, Glistening Dew Forest. Are we finally going to get a fight? So the Yes army moves out, does not find the Machaca army. Now, I gotta say, this war... it feels like there was a fair amount of ego. Yes took that full border, then Machaca attacked and took that full border. And then Yes pivoted from what I think could have been a very profitable war, killing Agartha, someone who does present an existential threat. So he pivoted from Agartha to attacking Machaca to get those provinces back and to get some revenge. And it's really starting to look like that's backfired a bit, because now he is getting attacked by Agartha in a more existential way. His forts are under threat. He hasn't gotten a decisive battle with Machaca, and Oceania is also ramping up to attack him. So I think this was a war that was ruinous to both of them. Machaca missed out on maybe potentially a profitable war versus Pyrene, where if he had really massed his spiders, maybe he could have done some work there. So this is definitely the kind of war where maybe if cooler heads had maybe talked about maybe just doing some sort of split, maybe that would have been okay. But both players are pretty aggressive. They both attacked multiple neighbors. So it seems like this has spiraled into a death conflict. All right. And then we've got Pyrene attacking Independence. We've got the Jotunheim-Nabah war here. Okay. So Nabah dodges the Smasher thugs. And he's going to pick off yet another raiding party from Jotunheim here. All right. So what does this cost Jotunheim? Awesome. 2 more spearmen, 5 more sacreds. He's really getting his sacreds gutted out from under him. Wait, how much are each of these guys? 100 gold. So was that 560? You know, plus some Veti. All right. And then we've got Agartha going on the Yis's fort here with a large army, and it should be 1 turn popped. Okay. Any action down here? The Pythium army does indeed turn around. We're gonna let Pyrene have this for now. Pyrene does take the rest of this cave, so Pyrene's picked up 4 cave provinces, and I think that really helps their expansion. All right. Let's go ahead and check things out. So this is where the Smasher thugs are. So Nabaz's going to need to try and dodge that. He's finally cleaning up the rear areas in the back line. So maybe he can, because if you clean out all of this, you can focus forward, which I think is good. Jotunheim's found a new angle of attack, so he's got more Thrym sortings here in Timeless Waste. He's got a way to reinforce that area. He's got this stack here. Some new wolf riders being massed here. They can move into Farron Mountains. But yeah, I mean, this war has already been going for, I mean, Jotunheim was on Nabaz's cap, I think, before turn 12. So this has already turned into like a 12 to 14 turn war. It affected Jotunheim's expansion a bit. He's just now starting to build a fort. He lost Death Marsh. He pinged these indies here. This is not a trivial province. All right. And then we've got the two Doomstacks dodging each other here. So I think Yes looked for a fight this turn. Machaka just went up. So they're kind of dodging each other a little bit. But now, Yes is losing fort. So he's about to lose this fort here. There's an Agarthan force about to go over to Loreborough. You might have to try and evacuate these Kurnow druids from, which is going to affect his research from was it Osenrad? So he's out of time, I think, to try and find a big fight versus Machaka, and he's invested in infrastructure on both fronts, which I feel might be a mistake. Because now he's obligated to continue defending both fronts. Whereas if he had just built infrastructure against Agartha, he could potentially abandon this land, at least temporarily. Maybe sign some sort of agreement with Machaka. It's like, hey, you can have this land. I need to stop fighting and go fight Agartha. Oceania is still waiting to attack this throne. I'm not sure what's going on there. And then, so being very non-committal, even for a throne. On the other hand, Shiniyama, let's see, he just took the outer throne, which is a great throne. +1 magic, 3 pearls, so... Ooh, he's... did he claim it this turn? No, I guess maybe he needs to be careful about claiming this, because if he goes up to magic 4, he'll start horror marking his stuff, but maybe it'll be worth it. Let's see. Pyrene patrolling out a scout on his capital. He's also got a bit of an army here, so he's moving out of the caves. He's got a second fort up in Tyranea. So he's trying to do a little bit of scaling, but it's tough. All right. But yeah, I think that's it for turn 20. Let's go ahead and take a look at the graphs. So for provinces, Shiniyama is still our biggest player. He's pulling ahead even a little bit. Pythium's flat. Agartha is up this turn. Yes is down due to Agartha. Jotunheim's down a bit from Nabaz's rating, so Nabaz's up. And Pyrene expanded a little. So we can... So Pyrene's not even... they're still, I would say, on the small side, but at least they're not the smallest. Nabab, Machaka, Oceania are all smaller than them now. In terms of forts, we've got Yes out in front, but maybe not for long. That could be Agartha jumping up to first soon. For income, we've got Shinu and Pythium. with their scales. Pyrene's now in the middle of the pack for income, but the area under the curve hasn't been great. For gym income, we've got Shinyama out in front, Agartha in second. Blood income, looks like that went back down. I think this is like cap income. This is the throne income. Ah, I guess Agartha did just blood hunt for a turn. Maybe he had an event. Like, what was it? Like the Lord gives you like 10 blood slaves or something. I know there's events like that. All right, for research, Machaka's out in front. Pyrene actually, for their small size, actually holding up pretty well on the research front. Dominion is Pythium. Army size is Shinyama now by a lot, followed by Agartha and Pythium. And then we've got Ascension points. All right. So let's go ahead and call it for this one. We're up over 46 minutes. Hope you guys are enjoying this pacing. Let me know if this kind of pacing, I feel this is fast for me, but I know it can feel slow for others. But let me know if this is good pacing. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.